children's digital citizenship in the context of child privacy violations in preschools occurs in different countries in different contexts. As we know, digital citizenship is defined as including cybersecurity skills, ethical online behavior, critical thinking, and rights awareness. Beyond technical proficiency, digital citizenship necessitates the development of an inclusive perspective on children's digital footprints. Basic digital citizenship skills need to be taught from early childhood education by building age appropriate, gamified, and collaborative learning environments. As we send to abstract, the groundwork for digital citizenship is being established at younger ages in the era of digitalization. This study examines the critical point where digital citizenship established in which children are directly or indirectly involved intersects with privacy violations in the context of preschool education. This study questions how preschool institutions in different cultural and geographical regions worldwide use children's faces, identities, and daily activities for corporate promotion and marketing purposes. Questioning the global and cross-cultural preschool samples and their analysis, this study explores how the commercial use of children's digital footprints becomes a major privacy infringement and a long-term security issue. This study argues that positioning preschool institutions as a means of promoting children throughout social media accounts fundamentally undermines their digital rights and future autonomy. Media literacy, which is among the 21st century literacy concepts, is a truly important topic, highlighting the literacy of many different actors in various fields. Among these, it's evident that parents' literacy, as well as the educators and institutions, need to improve their literacy skills and update their knowledge. Another type of literacy is citizenship literacy. Citizenship literacy is the sum of knowledge, skills, and values of an individual needs to participate in society as an active, responsible, and informed member, while traditional viewed simply as knowing the structure of government and laws, constitutional literacy, it has become a multifaceted concept encompassing the digital world, media, and global developments. One of the most significant issues of the 21st century is data breaches, demographics, and risk factors targeting the youngest. It seems that over 50% of child identity theft victims are 9 years old or younger, up to 5 years old age. The social media link roughly shows us that 96% of the minor victims were active social media users when their information was stolen. Online gaming platforms and apps frequently leak data or trick children into giving away their personal details. So, according to Victorman in 2020, more than one-third of parents don't follow best practices such as shredding documents or storing online records securely. Similarly, Hani and Petrino state that in 2017, over 1 million children were victims of identity theft, according to the research firm Javelin Strategy. In the research of more than 600 parents of children under the age of 16, 14% responded that their children's identity has been stolen, which would equate to roughly 10 million children. According to Weissman, identity theft can ruin lives. Approximately 25% of all kids will have their identity stolen or compromised before they turn 18, according to the data from major credit bureaus like Experian. The statistics surrounding stolen IDs and youth identity theft highlight how severe and widespread the issue has become. Regarding the key statistics and annual rates, yearly victim rate reaches roughly 1 in 50 children or 2% of minors fall victim to identity theft every single year in Western nations like the United States. Recent surges put forward that the U.S. Federal Trade Commission reported that child identity theft surged by 40%. Vulnerability multiplier occur according to the research from the Carnegie Mellon Scilab that indicates that children are 51 times more likely to be targeted for the identity theft than their parents due to the completely unmonitored clean credit slates. The rates seem to be increasing 13% in identity fraudsters globally year on year, according to the London Stock Exchange Group report of June 2025. There's also 43% increase in entities used as a vehicle to commit identity fraud over the last year, 2024. The report from the Children's Commissioner of England suggests that by the time children reach 13, parents will share 1,300 photos and videos of them on social media. Parents average 71 photos and 29 videos of their child per year. Further, by the time the children reach 18, they will post their own content nearly 70,000 times on social media. So, regarding the child's digital participation, there are, of course, opportunities and risks. Opportunities might be summed up as the right to education, developing creativity, dynamic learning, or identity development. But risks, on the other hand, sums up with the violation of personal rights, cyberbullying, invasion of privacy, and digital manipulation. Children's right to privacy refers to the fact that children have their own privacy control and disclosure of personal information and enable them to develop as individuals with rights. Children's privacy requires recognizing that childhood is a developmental stage, that children have not only protection obligations but also their own rights, and that digital environments also bring new elements of risk and vulnerability. By participating in digital ecosystems, children become subjects of this model without having their critical and legal tools to counter it. The process of datafication of childhood makes their life experiences a market entity, creating serious contradictions with the principles of dignity, autonomy, and evolutionary development recognized within the framework of children's rights. Children's rights, digital privacy has become an era that creates tensions between rights, technological, and market. Ensuring children's data security and privacy does not mean isolating them from the digital world. On the contrary, it means ensuring that they participate in this world safely, consciously, and voluntarily. To achieve this, public policies, critical education, and institutional responsibilities are required. Regarding the design of our study, we've chosen the sample from Turkey, Uzbekistan, United Kingdom, Finland, Germany, United States, Japan, and Portugal. The accounts of total 18 preschool education institutions from 8 countries were examined. It's aimed to analyze, to use the visual data of children with a qualitative and comparative case study. The goals include understanding the meanings, practices, and local conditions behind sharing images of children. Regarding the findings, the profile settings of the social media accounts of all the institutions examined are public, and it's seen that the photos and videos including children can be viewed unlimitedly. Making children's data accessible allows it to be viewed, downloaded, stored, and redistributed by third parties, going beyond parental or institutional control. Preschool institutions need to adopt an anonymous representation approach that prevents private accounts, limited access, and most importantly, the identification of children. In the content, it was determined that the children deliberately posed by looking directly at the camera, verbally repeated the activity in question, and interacted with the device that recorded them. These posts are seen active participants of the visual narrative curated by the employees of the institution rather than a diary accidental record of the children within the institution. The fact that children are part of the visual narrative shapes children's behavior and the way they present themselves as well as the violation of privacy. These posts turn childhood into data and make it accessible to unknown viewers, leaving it vulnerable and in a digital archive. In the study, it was observed that some children's faces were hidden by emojis or blurring by this practice gives rise to a complex and inconsistent approach to protecting children's digital privacy. By using the face hiding technique in this way, it shows that institutions are actually aware of their responsibilities regarding privacy. However, the application in question is used inconsistently, not covering all children, and it is thought that there is an approval dilemma in the parental consent part. It's also seen that the institutions do not prioritize privacy policies that protect children and prioritize their own public visibility and the promotional values of their own brands. Sharing visual content about the events and celebrations in which children take part as subjects turns them into marketing materials and feeds the policies of institutions focused on nurturing active and visible their own brands. Children become symbols in the narratives of institutions, social media persons, and become a visible part of promotional strategies. Although institutions are not explicitly in a position to share children as commercial advertisers, corporate branding, influencer culture, and visibility oriented platform economies integrate children into a commercial narrative. Half naked images of children wearing swimsuits and bikinis, massage images with a part of the body naked, and images of diaper changes are also publicly accessible. Such images should not only be seen as a violation of privacy norms, but also pose a serious danger as they allow children's bodies to be visible, shareable, and exploitable. These photos posts also directly contradict international child protection frameworks. Although such images of the child do not involve direct sexualization, the context of fun activity images recorded for nudity, dancing, or social media trends can take an undesirable meanings. Another worrying finding about these posts is that the images in the question are still trending on social media and participate in some trend videos. Since trend culture includes phenomena such as visibility, virality, prominence in the algorithm, and interaction, children's bodies are commercially positioned and become content designed for performance and interaction. At this point, the similarity detected in the institutions of the countries examined shows that this problem is not isolated and that it's a broader normalization process. Children's bodies being exhibited in an house events and entertainment activities and gaining digital visibility can be considered as a proof of care for parents. The experience of childhood is separated from the child space and added to the platform economy, eliminating privacy, and childhood becomes a consumed content. Attention was paid to the fact that the institutions examined within the scope of the research were from different geographies and cultures. Although the practices and violations are mostly similar, it is seen that some examples have differed corporate cultures. When we look at the kindergartens in Turkey, for example, it's seen that activities called privacy education are carried out. These trainings, which are based on the message of bodily autonomy, were recorded, and it was determined that some messages within the scope of the activity were made to be said verbally in front of the camera. When we look at the examples of Finland and Germany, more cautious practices come to the fore compared to the practices in other countries. These practices have been identified as sharing of images taken from the back of the children, the use of stock images, and the decrease in the sharing of images to allow children to be recognized over time. The fact that the institutions with different cultural contexts and different geographies share similar visibility shows the power of the platform economy. On the platforms where emotional and original content is awarded, colorful activities and smiling children serve the branding institutions. The cautious approach in examples of Finland and Germany suggests that cultural norms remain important in shaping institutional choices. Well, regarding the ethical contradictions, in case of Instagram, for example, when users try to perform a search that includes the word child, the platform automatically sends a warning stating child sexual exploitation is illegal, or we think this search may be related to child sexual exploitation, effectively interrupting the user's query and preventing them from accessing data. This application is especially important for the protection of children to detect and block interaction with children's data. However, in addition to these automatic controls, Instagram is clearly tolerant of corporate accounts, especially preschool institutions. This situation calls into question the reliability of the consistency and the breadth of security moderation built by the platform. However, alongside these automated controls, Instagram shows a clear tolerance towards corporate accounts, especially those providing preschool education. These corporate accounts can publicly share images of children performing daily activities, including photos in swimsuits or with partially uncovered bodies. Unlike using actions, in the search section, these corporate shared contents are not detected and blocked by Instagram's automated systems. This situation raises questions about the consistency and scope of the security moderation built by the platform. Thank you for listening.